Hi everyone, I'm your host Emma Burgic.
And I'm your co-host Jose Camacho.
Whether you're a player or a coach,
or you're just passionate about what you do and you want to be the best at it,
this is the EMAzing podcast for you. Today's episode is sponsored by MatchSet. MatchSet is an amazing company that provides players with incredible equipment and apparel. With MatchSet, equipment does matter, and they make sure it won't slow you down.
Use code Tennis with Emma to get 10% of Match Tennis today.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the EMAzing Tennis Podcast. Today with us we have Diana Bogoli. She's from Ukraine, but she's a tennis coach here in West Palm Beach. She's a former professional tennis player. Highest rank was around 700 in singles and around 300 in doubles. She played also for Lynn University, where she won a national doubles title, and also they were runner-up at the nationals as a team, which is huge accomplishments. I'm not gonna go down of like everything that she's accomplished because there's a lot and I cannot like keep up with everything. She's currently coaching here in West Palm Beach. A great coach, that's how we met, and a great player. And she's an entrepreneur. She made her own coffee company, which is Jar Bar Coffee, which tastes so good, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, Diana, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. We're good friends also off the podcast, so it's gonna be like, we're gonna just make a chill conversation, as you know.
Yeah.
This environment here is all. It feels like it's so professional, but
right.
honestly, we're gonna make it as chill as possible. So, tell me your story. How come you ended up here at the Lynn University? Like, so you grew up in Ukraine. Obviously, you played tournaments there, but then, and I saw you did 2 years of school back there.
Back home, yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about that transition, because it's not your usual transition from...
Yeah, so I've been playing tennis my whole life, and as long as I can remember, I played. That's the only thing I knew what to do. And then I used to play professional for many years, and then, the injuries started, and then it was hard financially to keep traveling and do everything on the highest professional level. And then I've decided to, after doing 2 years of school kind of remote and still trying to play, I decided to try to go another way and go to college, which was not my first choice really. And for like people back home, it feels kind of like a step down even, so it was really hard at first to transition and to get used to it. But then when I got here, I actually was really surprised with the level of players and the training, and it was actually really fun. So like the first few months when I got to school, I had to get used to it, and it was still different, different language. I got here by myself. I didn't have any friends here, no family, no one. So it was a little tough at first, but only a couple months. And then after that, you met my teammates, and everyone was super nice. Everyone was international, had the same situation before too. So it was nice, to have some support. They told me that, they've been through the same thing and everything. And yeah, so the level was actually great. I enjoyed it. After a few months, I started to be like, okay, I'm gonna, try to explore more things, try everything I can here, and kind of go from there. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, no, that's great. Just a question, you said financially it was tough, right? For some people in the audience, they don't know, like I know what you mean because I've been through the same thing. Yeah. But how was it hard? Like, was it, I don't know how Ukraine is. Does the federation support the players? How is it really? Like, what was it hard about it?
No, to be honest, everyone is on their own there. Like, I was one of the top players in the country, under every age category when I was growing up. but never really had any support from the federation or anything. I mean, you have to pay for the court yourself to rent a court. You have to pay hourly for your coach. You have to pay after for the recovery, fitness, and all the stuff involved. And you're only like 16 years old, so your family is doing that, and at some point they're like, it starts to be complicated already. Plus the trips are very expensive.
Yeah.
And if you go by yourself, a little cheaper, which what I did most of the time, but it's really hard mentally too, to travel by yourself, like all over the world when you're 15, 16 years old. And if not, I mean, you gotta bring a coach, you gotta pay for him, and the expenses just add up, and it's getting really, really tough at the end. You have to make a decision, like, okay, do I look for the sponsor, try to like talk to people and find someone who can help, or like go another way, which for me was going to college and getting a full scholarship because of tennis. So that was a good option.
That was a great option. Why do you think, you mentioned earlier also that it's a step down, right? So like, I know also exactly what you mean, because back home people are like, oh, you're going to college, you're not going pro. Like, but do you think that it was a step down?
Definitely not. No, it's like now it's already changing. The mentality is changing back home in our countries too, that it's not a step down. Definitely, it's like a continuation. It's just a different path. You're getting an education. Maybe you decide to do something else after. At least you have more options. You're not only stuck with tennis, and that's it. Because that's what most of the tennis players are struggling too. They finish playing and they're like, okay, what do I do now? Because they don't know anything else, They didn't even go to school properly. They did everything like distant, remote, and they just travel, play tennis, and they were like fully into it 100%. I mean, that's the only way to do it anyway. But it's also hard when you stop. I heard like literally every single, at least a girl player that I know, they're like, okay, what do I do now? Like, there's not many options, Going to college definitely is kind of expands your vision, and you explore more things and you learn new things, and so it's a great option. And now it's changing already. I was like one of like the first players who went to college from Ukraine. Now you see so many Ukrainian girls are going to college and they actually don't know anything about it. I mean, the system is so different how it works. Back home we don't have any team sports or anything, scholarships. I mean, this is so like another world for us, So now a lot of people probably not knowing gave them that idea that it's like a step down, but now since they know and they see a lot of players actually playing also after college, they go pro again, and they have great resources, great potential, they knew more people, they have nice coaches, they have facilities, I mean, free courts everywhere, play as much as you want to. So now, definitely a lot more players are doing that, and they think that college is a good opportunity, like good way to kind of transition little by little and, doing it in a more like healthy way.
Seriously. No, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because I think the big thing is also connections and networking, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And then coming from countries like Bosnia, Ukraine, and then coming to America, so, I don't know, probably you're the same. You meet so many people.
Yeah.
And then, one person leads you to another, and then one thing leads you to another. And it's like constantly building up on that, and the opportunities keep rising. So then, like, if you want to go this route, you can. If you want to go this route, you can also. It just like depends what you really want, right?
Yeah.
What did you graduate in?
I did the bachelor's in sports management and MBA master's in international business.
So when you finished college, did you ever want to go play pro, or what
I was a little bit like burned out, I think, after college, because you play a lot, you play matches constantly, you practice every day, and with school, with everything. I mean, you manage, of course, but it gets a little bit stressful anyway. So I just wanted to take a little break from just playing, and I was coaching kind of on the side here and there. Once I graduated, I started coaching full time. But then after like a year or so, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And I was just practicing, with like having fun and really enjoyed my time. And I found that my game actually really changed, because I was like, compared to how I was before when I played pro, I was so like was very, a lot of pressure, and it's tough to let it go and just enjoy it and have fun. But then after, when you don't have any pressure, you don't have any of those thoughts, you actually find that your tennis improves a lot, and you start enjoying it, and you see more things that you can do, and you're like, oh, nice, this is something different. I like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, now I played a few tournaments here and there, like the money tournaments, the prize money around Florida. Here there's plenty, every single week. So just for fun, and it's nice to compete. It's nice to have that feeling again, So I definitely do miss it sometimes. I don't know if I miss it that much to like sacrifice everything I have, and be like, okay, I'm going pro again, which, maybe I could do, maybe I will, who knows, in a year or so, but yeah, we'll see.
You never know. The other day when we played together and we're like, okay, let's go and play doubles together. It is a huge commitment. I decided I'm going to go back on tour, I don't know, like 5-6 months ago. I don't even know anymore. But it's been really tough. It's like juggling everything, making that transition again, because I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can manage everything. But now, like, it just requires so much more. Definitely. And I forgot about it, like how much more it requires. Yeah. And like you said, I was burnt out also after college. Just all the matches, all the practices, it's a lot.
It's a lot. A few years in a row. You have breaks, but still like non-stop anyway.
Non-stop, yeah.
So yeah, definitely gets hard physically a lot, because also you're playing only on hard court, you don't have too much time to recover. So yeah, you need to take care of that too, for sure.
So at the Lynn University, mostly you said there were international players?
Yeah, all our team was international. We probably had one American girl in the team when I got there. The rest were mostly Europeans. One girl was from Mexico, mostly European girls. So it was actually, that's what made it easier for me, I guess, because I saw like kind of, girls coming from Europe, like the similar stories, and they kind of explained me and showed me how it is, and just like their experience, and that's how it was a little bit easier on me to see that with the other girls. And now also, like, you're not one anymore. Like, tennis is such an individual sport. You used to be just you, but now you have the team, and so it's like everybody supports each other, and it feels nice.
Yeah. Are you ready to immerse yourself in the world of beauty, wellness, and self-care? Look no further. Rejuvenate is a medical spa in South Florida that offers a wide range of beauty and health-improving treatments and therapies. Their goal and aim is to improve your quality of life and ensure a healthy glow on your skin. Make sure to check their social media and to visit their location here in South Florida today. If a 17-year-old girl that wants to go pro asks you now, hey, should I go to college and then go pro, or should I not go to college and just go pro right now? What would you say?
I guess it's very individual. It depends on the player. It depends how good she feels.
Okay, she feels good. She's a good player. Nobody can promise you that she's gonna make it, but she's talented.
If she has the resources, she has the money, she has the coach, she has the ability to travel, I would say, she can go and try for a year or two. I don't know. She's still gonna be young, and she can still go to college after. Yeah, she's gonna have that option. If the financial part is a little bit harder, or I see that the girl is struggling on court, like she's not really enjoying it so much, she's having trouble being on court and just like having fun, enjoying it anyway, then I would say probably, okay, take a little rest and break from the pro, go to college, see how it is, because also even if you play college, summers you can play tournaments and you can try it out, and you can kind of combine two together. And if you decide to, like, if you see that you have great results, you can quit and go play pro if you want to, or you can finish college, finish your degree, and then get a great experience, and then after that you go into a pro.
No, for me it's just interesting. Everybody kind of has a different answer to this, just what you think. Do you think if you didn't go to college that you would go pro, or you would keep going? No,
I don't think so.
It was too tough.
Yeah, it was tough, really tough on my body too. It's either I would have to like stop and really rethink what I'm doing, like maybe do a surgery or whatever, I don't know, and then kind of start over or like stop completely, you know. So it was a good way to kind of keep going, because it's still like, you know, it's not as intense, the level is not as high, of course, as pro. And yeah, like you do other things, you know, you focus on school too and everything, so it's kind of like a mix of everything, but you still get great matches, great practice, you know. So if you don't want to stop completely, you can still do it, and then you can decide what you want to do after, of course.
Yeah. So you graduated and then you decided, okay, I'm gonna go into coaching, or you were debating with that too?
I was debating with that too, yeah. I mean, I started coaching while I was at school, like just as a source of income, you know, kind of on the side after classes and everything. And I liked it. It was pretty cool. It was fun. You know, again, networking, you know, I met a lot of nice coaches. I started knowing, you know, the area around, a lot of clubs. I mean, it's huge for tennis, for everything, of course.
Area, yeah.
So, yeah, and after I finished, it was kind of like, I was debating, like, should I keep doing it? Should I not? But it was kind of like the easier way, I guess. You know, to stay with it and just keep going with it. And then I was like, you know, I'll see after. But I liked it and I enjoyed it. So it was a good, you know, good way to stay here and to keep coaching. I started with the academies, and I was working with high performance kids first. And then I decided, when I started like hitting a little bit by myself, I'm like, well, I kind of want to play myself, but with coaching high performance, like hitting with them and spending a lot of hours on the court and on tournaments and everything the weekend, I didn't have any time for that. So that's how I decided to transition a little bit, you know, to the other way and go more like recreational country club coaching. And with that, I could play a lot more. Like I had more time and I had much more energy to you know, practice myself and go and play some tournaments. So that's why I make that change there.
So you went from academy, high performance, to a country club. Yeah. How did you make that transition? You got an offer, or you were looking around, asking around?
Yeah.
How was that?
At first,
Was it hard?
No, it wasn't hard. Like, because of that, you know, because I met so many people before when I was helping out, like, in all the clubs around Boca. I just kind of started asking around first, because everybody, like, kind of knew that I'm with the high performance academies. They didn't even know if I would be interested in something like a country club. But yeah, asking around a few places, and then actually like after a year or two, I got a great offer at the place where I am right now. The coach knew the coach in Boca, and then same way, you know, through the same way, and then, you know, that's how I got there, and it's gonna be my third season already in that same club where I am.
Oh wow, okay. And it's a really nice club.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's on the island, you know, it's nice spot, great courts, nice people. So, I mean, it's nice spot to be. Like, I wouldn't be there if, you know, for 3 years almost, if I wouldn't enjoy it. So
I know, that's a long time just to stay at one place. At least for me, it's like, oh my God.
For me too, yeah.
I need to change.
Yeah. I feel like being a tennis player, just like you get so used to changes every single week. Yes. So when you stay in the same spot all the time, you're like, oh, I need to move, I need to do something else already. But it, like, I got more used to it. Yeah. I had the thoughts like, okay, like, do I go somewhere else? What do I do? It's weird just to be in the same spot.
Yeah.
But then, like, you realize that, it's nice, you know, and it's a good spot, so it's good to stay.
That's such a good point that you said that, because, you know, since I moved to Wellington, and I played on tour for a little bit, but then when I stopped, and then had kids back to back, and then you're like stuck here.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I need to move.
Yeah.
I need to move around. So like, I don't know how it's gonna be now when I actually start traveling. Am I like gonna like it, or like I'm used to like
I don't know. I think that you're gonna get like the taste of it again, and you're gonna be like, ooh, that's nice.
You're gonna be like, going back to Wellington to coach.
Stay home. That's it.
It's a tough road. It really is. But for me, it's honestly like, I don't know. We spoke about this a little bit too. Just going for, like, just reaching your full potential. I feel like I've never been able to do it.
Yeah.
And I wanna, when I'm 40, when I'm 50, I wanna be like, okay, I really gave it my all. that was it. I really
Yeah.
couldn't do more than being 400 in the world or
Yeah.
like 140, whatever. Like, I want to be like, okay, I gave it all. I'm done. That's it. And it might be in a year. It might be in a
You never
month.
know.
No, I'm kidding.
never
It's
know.
not gonna be in a month.
Yeah.
But like, or it might be in 5 years. You know. So let's see what happens. I
No,
don't know.
exactly. You gotta go for sure. It was tough for me too. That I kind of stopped and I still knew that I could play because I was very young when I stopped playing pro. I mean, I was like 20 years old.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
young.
so young.
So I had it always in the back of my mind, like kind of should I go, should I not? But then what stopped me mostly is probably the injuries, because I know if I'm gonna go like how I'm supposed to go, like full on 100%.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a lot for my back, for my injury, and I'm gonna have to stop again and start over and think about something else, like how I can manage
it.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about your husband.
Yeah.
Because he's in tennis too.
Yeah.
We should have had him on the podcast with us too.
You should.
Next one, we're gonna interview him. We're gonna have him in the middle. Me and you are gonna interview him.
Yeah.
So you met through tennis, obviously, but is he a hitting partner or what does he do exactly?
He's a coach. Yeah, he has they invited him to play with like a hitting partner with Venus Williams. So he knows like a few coaches, and then after that, now he was working with Sofia Cannon, which he was at first was supposed to be, I guess, like a hitting partner more, but then ended up being a coach because she only has her dad. That sometimes here, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. So Jaime was her coach, and now he was with her at the U.S. Open.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was a little injured though, so was like she was like coming back from an injury. She had something with her quad, her quad.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really cool for him. Nice experience to be there because it was like the first slam that we went together.
Wait, did you go? That's why you went?
Yeah. That's
I
why we
didn't
went
know
there.
that.
Yeah, he was with her. I went there also to see some matches. It was amazing. It was a great experience.
Such a great experience. I
Yeah.
just went for first time. I've never been to a Open. Have you?
Yeah, no, it was my first time. Well, I actually went I was playing the nationals indoors, so it was like the not in season with the team, but off season the doubles that we became the national champions with my doubles partner. If you win the Division 2, you go to I don't even know how they call it anymore, but it's like between the Division 2, 3, and junior college and NAIA, like different divisions. If you win that, you get a chance to go to a Division 1 nationals. And that was in that same place at the US Open at the Flushing Meadows, was like in an indoor facility, but the same spot. So I played there indoor, for the D1 nationals. But yeah, that was the only time I've been there. Now it was different. It was a lot of people in there.
Every day was crowded.
Yeah, it was huge crowd there.
Every day, it's so much energy. It's amazing, honestly. But you saw these players from close up, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What separates us from them? No, but what do you think? What separates, like you said, the higher level? Because I just went there and I also watched, but in your opinion, what do you think? What is it, or do you think it's not that big of a difference?
No, for sure there is a difference, and I mean mostly I watched men's tennis there, not women's, but still, I saw some women's matches too, and huge difference in men's tennis I see, between the guys that are playing here in these local tournaments and there. Much more physical, huge serves, so definitely physically different and mentally too. But the girls are, very similar. You see them hitting, they're not maybe there's a little bit more power they create, but not a huge difference. But I always thought that it's easy, kind of, if you're a decent player, with women's tennis, it's easy to get into top 200 or even 100, but then to go further, you need to have something, you need to be physically 100% for sure. You need to be mentally 100%, which is the toughest part. Yeah, you need to be calm. You can't lose it. You have to be ready for whatever comes. Every point. So that was the main difference, I think. Like physicality, they're all like super fit, super fast. Like big difference, and also mentally, like you see the players. You don't see like faces that they're making on the court. You don't see like bad calls. You don't see any of that. It's very like they're there. They're focused like 100%.
Today's video is sponsored by Lucky in Love. Gone are the days of ladies golf and tennis apparel that all look the same. Lucky in Love is ushering in a new age. The high-end women's apparel brings options fit for the modern, expressive woman. Partake in the ultimate luxury and shop Lucky in Love for your new favorite fashion items for women and use code EB20 to get 20% of your next purchase. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I mean, I would not agree with it's easy to get into top 200.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like if you are a good, decent player, if you have the level, if you compete like in those tournaments, you played, maybe juniors, pro, whatever, if you're getting into 700, 500, 300, like you're getting there. Yeah. But then to pass that stage, like 300, 200, then further,
yes,
you need to have something
for
else.
For sure. It's like, and it's so, like you said, mental. Like mentally you have to be tough. Like this morning I was at practice and God, I was winning 5-1 and I had a set point against this like Spanish guy and I lost 7-6.
Yeah.
Like he completely started changing his game and I was like, what is going on? I could not adjust, and the next thing you know it's 5-all and then 6-all, and I'm like, how did I even get here so fast? Because like you might think 5-1 is a lot, but it's like in like
no, it can go
15 minutes, it was like 5-5. I was like, great. And I was getting so angry.
Yeah.
I was getting so mad. And then I'm like, I know what I would tell myself as a coach, right? I know I would be like, okay, I'm not like that. But then like at that moment, it's like this anger coming.
It's just all there, yeah.
And I'm like, and I talked to my coach, I'm like, do I scream? Do I break a racket? What do I do? Like, I don't want to act like this, then like, I don't want to be like this. I want to be calm. But then I turn around like, okay, calm. But then the anger is still there.
Yeah, it's still there. I know. Yeah, you got to find your ways, to calm yourself down and to get back into, not thinking about that anger or your emotions or what's taking over you in that moment, but try to like put those thoughts and emotions away and get back to the game as fast as you can. And I think that's probably what separates those players, the most from, higher level and lower level players. Yeah, because you see they all lose it a little bit, for a second. You see them hitting rackets and everything. That always happens. But then how fast do they get back into it, and they can like kind of separate and forget about that and get back into the game. That's what makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what separates the best ones from the So okay, let's talk a little bit about so you're coaching now obviously, but you talked about burnout as a player in college. Let's talk about the burnout as a coach. Do you get that? Do you like, is it tough, especially, I mean, it is, obviously, but like how tough it is, like here in Florida, like spending a lot of hours in the court? Do you struggle with that?
Definitely gets tough, and summer especially. I mean, we're lucky that summer is just not as busy here. If you're in a country club world, if it would be high performance, it would be completely different. But like our season now is just gonna start now, like October goes through April, May. And in those times I can be on court like 8-10 hours a day, and then you just have to go back the next day and do it over and over again. Definitely you're burning out. You feel like, do I really want to do it? Like, okay, I need to think about something else, because like working hourly, it's very, physically demanding. And maybe if you're a guy, it's a little bit easier. I think for a girl, it's still harder than for a guy, to be out there a lot of hours running around. It's tough, but then you can take like a few days off, here and there, and then you kind of get back to it again and you start over. You need those little breaks in between, those tough days and weeks. And then it's like, okay, you can go through, and then you think like, okay, it's just the season. Now it's gonna finish in a few months. I'm gonna suffer for a few months, and then I can rest a little in the summer. So that's what gets you through sometimes.
For us, it's tough because, right, the only way to make money is by teaching.
Right.
Yeah, you would take that time off to rest, right? But you're like,
money.
you're not making money.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's when we start thinking about different options, how we can make money and how we can do other things without just being on the court, because you lose the quality also, right?
Yeah.
Like you're good for first 2-3 hours, but then anything after that, you lose the energy. You don't give your
you cannot
best
give
coaching.
you 100% anymore.
Exactly.
It's just physically impossible. Like, and your mind you just get so tired. You start thinking about different things, like that you want to go home. That's it.
Yeah.
And that person feels it too, for sure. Like you want to be there for the person because also, like they want to be there. They're having fun. They just want to enjoy their hour or two on the court, have fun. If you're like with a face like that, they feel it. So yeah, looking at the watch every minute.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's like the only thing that I don't like about coaching so much. Like ideally I want to coach as many hours just as I want. Right? Like 2-3 hours a day.
That's
I'm
the
good.
best. Yeah.
I'm good.
When you're not like, when you have to be there and when you go there because you want to be there, it's two different things.
Yeah, definitely. So then you came up with your coffee idea.
Yeah.
Because one day you were so tired on the court and you were thinking about, I need coffee.
That's kind of how it was.
Really?
I mean, it was similar.
You see, I'm just making this up. Like, I really need coffee. I'm tired.
Coffee.
Maybe I could make a coffee business so that I don't have to be on the court as much.
No, that was literally the main reason why I thought, like, I've been always, like, the more tired I got on the court, the more hours I spend there, the more I'm like, okay, I really need to think about something else. What can I do, to have that other passive income? Doesn't have to be with sports or with tennis, can be anything else.
Yeah.
And I just always had like this passion with good coffee. I mean, drinking good coffee, like not a store-bought or Starbucks or whatever you find, I mean, maybe you disagree, maybe.
No, I agree.
But yeah, I always had that in my mind. And,
but wait,
let
me pause there. So good coffee. So what's a good coffee if Starbucks is not good coffee?
I think Starbucks is terrible.
Actually?
Yeah.
Why?
I hate their coffee.
Oh, good.
No,
good.
I don't like it. I mean, if you want to go for like a huge, sugary drink or like something like that, which sometimes I enjoy that once in a while when I want like that sugar kick,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
When, like,
you're
a
actually
dessert.
right. Every time I just get coffee, it's not that good. But like if I get caramel macchiato,
of course,
it's great.
Yeah, you don't even feel the taste of the coffee.
Yeah, no, you just feel the caramel.
That's why you see all those people getting their orders. It's not just like an espresso or whatever, it's always something like a
venti
crazy
with this pump of this, pump of yeah. That's actually a very good point. So, what's a good quality coffee? Like, where would you get it?
That's kind of where how I started thinking about starting something on my own, which was a coffee business, because I would try to find the good tasting quality that was roasted like very recent, that it wasn't roasted like who knows when and then just sitting on the shelves of the stores, like who knows how long it's been there and what's going on with the beans, And I couldn't find many options, you could only find like a few places online where you could buy a couple local roasteries, but not many options. So I was like, let me look into it. And I actually took like a few courses, like classes, like with a person that we did like one-on-one classes where I learned about coffee more in depth, like how does it grow, where is it, like what's the differences, the roasting process, everything. And I really got into it. I started doing it little by little. I wasn't like in a rush to do it. I wanted to do it good, and I wanted to just give it a try and see if it works. And so I had a friend of mine help me with the website a little, and kind of just learning about it on my own, finding those YouTube videos and everything, and I kind of put everything together and created the brand. And now you have like a little passive income coming, and it's just fun to do something else than tennis, also like, because if you only stuck with tennis for all your life, you're like, what do I want to do, and you have no idea. And then if you find something else that you're like passionate about, and it's like just fun to create from zero and to see it grow, and you see that people are enjoying actually what you created, that makes it really, really cool and fun.
No, that's amazing. I love that, how you came up with that. How did you come up with the jar bar?
Was very random.
Really? Like how? Like why jar bar?
I don't know. I was trying to like just go with like a catchy name and or phrase, that was not there yet, because you see all those different names and everything.
Yeah.
Just something that gets stuck, and I was like jar, because like a coffee jar or like a mason jar, I always imagine like those cold iced coffees like in a mason jar. And I'm like, jar, what rhymes with jar bar? Oh, that's cool. So then I'm like, okay, let's see if I can make like a nice logo of it and see if it like, the design would be looking cool. And that's just kind of how it happened. It was very like from one day to another.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what kind of different ones you have? Can you explain to us?
Yeah, well, I have 10 different types of coffees right now on my website. 6 of them are single origin, that they're like comes from each country, different countries. And then one of them is decaf. And also have 2 different espresso blends where they blend like a few of those single origins together and roast them, and then put it in an espresso blend. 1 darker, 1 lighter, and also 1 decaf. So in total 10 different coffees, all very different. Actually, before I started like getting into it, I didn't realize that there's so much difference and all those like tasting notes and sweetness and acidity and whatever, and there's like a lot of things into it, but it's crazy how much you feel the difference when you actually make different coffees and you try them out, and it's a huge difference.
So how long what's too long for a coffee to be on a shelf after it's roasted?
I would say like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
More than 2 weeks. It's already like a little bit too long.
Really? Why? It just loses its...
It loses its quality,
flavor.
It loses the flavor, and that's why actually a lot of like coffee that if you buy it in store, you don't really feel the different taste. You just feel like a little bit burnt coffee, and so they do it on purpose. They like over roast the coffee to make it more burnt, to not feel like different taste that might come, even like mold and stuff, that comes into a coffee the more it stays on the shelf. So it tastes like totally different if you get the coffee like online or from the local roaster. They mostly do it on demand. That's how we do it, when the order comes in, we roast the coffee, and then the day after or the next day, so 2 days after, we ship it, and it comes to you literally 2-3 days after roasting, and that taste you cannot like compare it and find it in the store-bought coffee.
Good. And you mentioned acidic. Can we talk about that for a second? Because I hear a lot of people saying how acidic coffee is.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
For sure, there are coffee that are more acidic, and they don't make you feel so good, like kind of like heartburn after you drink it. But that's also because the quality of the coffee is not good. Usually, like if you see like there's like a darker roast coffee, lighter roast coffee. Usually, the lighter the roast, the little bit more acidity there is. But if the coffee is like fresh and it roasted good and it came from the good farm and everything, it's not gonna give you that like heartburn or any like discomfort that you might feel after like drinking acidic coffee. And it's not even that much difference really. You just feel like different notes of like fruity, like a little bit lighter.
You can taste it.
But you don't feel that like bad kind of aftertaste or like bad feeling after you drink that coffee. So definitely there are coffees like that are more acidic than the others, but if it is, then it just means that the coffee is not like the greatest quality.
Yeah. Well, this is great quality coffee. So anybody that wants to purchase it, go on the jarbar.com.
Jarbarcoffee.com.
Jarbarcoffee.com. And just for the people that are listening to the podcast, you get a discount by using code EMA20. Very creative.
Right, yeah.
I mean, what else are we going to put? Seriously.
Doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Exactly. So EMA20 to get 20% off, and get yourself freshly roasted coffee.
Yep.
That's great. Like, I always wanted to have my own business, right? But like you said, you get stuck with tennis because tennis is all you know.
Exactly.
Right? That's all we know our whole lives. And it's like, okay, yeah, I have an accounting degree. I don't want to do anything with accounting, But that's why I'm doing that. Like these little things, like podcasts is like my business, because I love talking to people.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I love, and this is like, listening to your story, just talking more, learning from each other.
Right.
There's always I love this. So I'm like, okay, let's make it amazing.
Yeah.
Like the Amazing Tennis Podcast. Jose is not here today, unfortunately, my co-host, but he's in school and he really has to study. Hi, Jose. But yeah, this was great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Of course,
it was amazing.
It was fun, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Next time we're bringing your boyfriend because I want to hear. I mean, boyfriend, husband, same thing,
Right.
at this point. So we're bringing your husband on to maybe hear about his first coaching experience at a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
That's a good subject.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool to hear, for sure.
Yeah, just to hear his side. And I would also love to meet him since I haven't met him yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you again. Thanks everyone for watching, and make sure to follow and subscribe. Bye. Today's episode is sponsored by MatchSet. MatchSet is an amazing company that provides players with incredible equipment and apparel. With MatchSet, equipment does matter, and they make sure it won't slow you down.
Use code Tennis with Emma to get 10% of Match Tennis today.
Thank you so much for supporting and listening to our podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media.
And be sure to listen to next week's episode of the Amazing Tennis Podcast.